It started like any other night in the world of celebrity gossip until Tasha K hit that Go Live button. Within seconds, tens of thousands of viewers flooded her stream, the familiar mix of curiosity and chaos bubbling in the chat. But this time, there was a shift in her tone, sharper, more deliberate, and dangerously calm. She leaned forward, eyes locked on the camera, and dropped a line that sent shockwaves through the internet. "Tonight, I'm exposing something that's been kept quiet for way too long. This involves Mendeecees' Harris Band, yes. Yandy Mendeecees too." The moment the names left her lips, the chat exploded. Emojis, question marks, and frantic comments filled the screen. "Not Yandy!" one viewer screamed. "She's lying." Another fired back. But Tasha K didn't flinch. She reached for her phone, scrolled for a moment, and then said, "I got receipts." That single phrase was all it took to send social media into a full-blown meltdown. Within minutes, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were ablaze. Hashtags like Cloud Tasha K receipts and Mendeecees drama shot to the top of trending lists. Fan pages and gossip accounts began replaying snippets of her live, analyzing every pause, every smirk, every word that might hint at what was coming next. People who had never even followed Love and Hip Hop were now tuning in, curious to see what could possibly shake Yandy and Mendeecees, the couple once seen as one of the franchise's strongest love stories. Tasha kept her audience on edge. She spoke in riddles, teasing messages that prove what's really been going on behind the scenes. She hinted that Mendeecees might not have been as loyal as everyone believed. And when a viewer asked if Jasmine was involved, Tasha only smiled and said, "I never say names unless they're already out there." That cryptic statement was enough. The internet connected the dots instantly. Clips from old Love and Hip Hop episodes resurfaced. Fans started revisiting past confessionals, looking for signs: an awkward glance, a distant tone, a forced smile. Even celebrities outside the LHH universe began weighing in, some defending Yandy, others simply watching the drama unfold like the rest of the world. As the live stream wrapped, Tasha dropped one final bomb. "I'll be posting screenshots soon. Don't say I didn't warn you." And with that, she ended the live, leaving millions of viewers staring at their screens, jaws dropped, hearts racing, and group chats blowing up. The fallout was instant. Yandy Mendeecees began trending within 15 minutes. Fans flooded her Instagram comments with hearts, prayers, and accusations. Blogs posted headlines like, "Tasha K exposes Mendeecees' alleged receipts incoming." The world of hip-hop reality television had officially erupted into chaos. By midnight, reaction videos were everywhere. Some called Tasha reckless. Others called her brave. But one thing was clear: whatever she was about to release had the potential to rewrite everything fans thought they knew about Yandy and Mendeecees. And as the night deepened, a single question echoed across every platform. Was Tasha K telling the truth, or just setting the stage for her biggest scandal yet? When the live stream ended and the internet caught fire, Yandy Mendeecees was nowhere to be seen. No posts, no comments, not even a cryptic emoji. Behind the scenes, sources say her phone wouldn't stop vibrating, notifications rolling in from friends, fans, and producers all asking the same thing. Is it true? For a woman who'd spent years building her image as a loyal wife, businesswoman, and mother, the weight of that question hit like a tidal wave. According to insiders, Yandy initially refused to believe it. She told those closest to her, "Tasha makes things up all the time. She's just trying to get views." But when a close friend sent her a clip of the live, specifically the moment Tasha said Mendeecees and receipts, Yandy's entire expression reportedly changed. It wasn't anger at first. It was confusion, then fear, and finally heartbreak. That night, she confronted Mendeecees privately. Voices were raised, emotions spilled, and for the first time in years, there was no camera crew, no stage scene, just raw, painful reality. Witnesses claim she kept asking him, "Why does your name keep coming up with the same people?" Mendeecees, caught off guard, insisted nothing inappropriate had happened, but his explanations did little to calm the storm brewing inside her. Alone in her bedroom later that night, Yandy reportedly took off her wedding ring, a small gesture, but one that said everything. Meanwhile, the internet was spinning out of control. Her silence became its own narrative. Fan pages began posting side-by-side pictures of her ring finger from recent events, sparking wild theories that she'd already made a decision about her marriage. The comments under her latest Instagram post were split down the middle, some begging her to stand strong, others accusing her of ignoring the truth. Even those who'd never followed her journey felt the emotional weight of her situation, a woman torn between love and humiliation, loyalty and self-respect. By morning, Yandy's name had crossed into mainstream headlines. Talk shows debated whether she should speak out or stay silent. One blog wrote, "If Yandy doesn't address this soon, the silence might do more damage than the rumor itself." But sources close to her claimed she wasn't ready to speak, not yet. Instead, she was taking time to think, to breathe, and to decide what her next move should be. Because deep down, Yandy knew one thing for sure. Once she said something publicly, there would be no going back. The woman who had stood by her husband through prison, public judgment, and endless rumors now faced a new kind of battle. One fought not in front of cameras, but within her own heart. And while fans kept refreshing her feed, waiting for a statement, Yandy quietly stared at her reflection in the mirror, wondering how something she believed was solid could suddenly feel like it was built on sand. The morning after her explosive live, Tasha K returned to social media like a woman on a mission. Her tone was unapologetic, her confidence unshaken, and her message crystal clear. "I said what I said, and I stand by every word." Screenshots from her live had already been reposted across the internet. But now she was taking it further, doubling down on her claims and promising that what she revealed was only the beginning. In her new post, she wrote, "When people lie to the public for years, the truth eventually leaks. I don't expose families, I expose hypocrisy." That statement alone sent shockwaves through every corner of the entertainment world. Fans and critics immediately split into camps. Some praised her for fearlessly calling out what they saw as fake couple goals, while others accused her of crossing a line, destroying lives for clicks and clout. But Tasha didn't back down. She fired up another live session, this time with an even larger audience, and teased that the proof she held was undeniable. She refused to show it yet, saying, "I want people to sit with what I said. Watch who starts panicking first, that's how you know who's guilty." The internet lost its mind. Every move Yandy and Mendeecees made was now under a microscope. When Yandy reposted a motivational quote about self-respect and silence, fans flooded the comments, claiming it was a subliminal response. When Mendeecees shared a photo of his kids, people accused him of deflection. Tasha, meanwhile, sat back and watched it all unfold, occasionally dropping cryptic tweets like, "The truth doesn't need defending," or "Receipts speak louder than denials." Each one reignited the frenzy. Gossip blogs were running nonstop. Podcasts were dissecting her words frame by frame. And even Love and Hip Hop alumni started chiming in with thinly veiled shade. By evening, Tasha's second live had racked up millions of views, with fans begging for more details. But she refused to rush. Her strategy was clear: build anticipation, let the world stew in curiosity, and let the pressure mount. Whether people loved her or hated her, they couldn't look away. In less than 24 hours, she had turned one stream into a full-blown cultural moment. And as she ended her broadcast with a smirk and the words, "I'm just getting started," one thing became certain. This wasn't just gossip anymore, it was a public reckoning. The lines between truth, revenge, and entertainment had officially blurred, and Tasha K was standing right at the center of the storm, daring anyone to challenge her. As Tasha K's claims continued to dominate headlines, it didn't take long for one familiar name to resurface: Jasmine. For years, her involvement in Mendeecees' past had been a closed chapter, something fans occasionally whispered about but never truly revisited. But now, with Tasha's cryptic comments hinting at old connections reigniting, the internet did what it does best. It started connecting dots that may or may not exist. Old clips from Love and Hip Hop, Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop New York, began circulating again. showing moments when Yandy and Jasmine's worlds collided. Moments that were once dismissed as simple reality TV drama, but now seemed like clues to something deeper. Fans replayed Jasmine's confessionals, her interviews, even her social media posts from years ago, searching for hints of unfinished business or hidden tension. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, an alleged voice note began spreading online, a muffled, emotional recording that many claimed belonged to Jasmine, speaking about a conversation that shouldn't have happened. Whether it was real or not didn't matter. The internet had already decided. Hashtags like Jasmine speaks and Yandy deserves better began trending, and fan pages flooded with theories about what kind of conversation had taken place. Some users defended Jasmine, arguing she was being dragged unfairly into something from the past, while others accused her of trying to destroy Yandy's peace. The debate became personal. Fans took sides, dissecting her tone, her history, and her silence. Through it all, Jasmine stayed quiet, but her name was everywhere. In YouTube thumbnails, on gossip blogs, in memes, and even in radio talk segments. Producers from Love and Hip Hop reportedly started reaching out, hinting that the timing of her reappearance might align with a new season, which only fueled speculation that this real-life scandal could be merging with on-screen storylines. The atmosphere online turned electric. Everybody wanted Jasmine to speak, but nobody knew if she would. Meanwhile, Yandy's camp maintained silence, and Mendeecees avoided interviews altogether, leaving the narrative wide open for the public to interpret. And as fans scrolled through endless posts and debates, one question began to dominate the conversation. If Jasmine really had nothing to hide, why wasn't she saying anything? Whether she was protecting herself, someone else, or simply refusing to feed the fire, her silence became louder than any statement she could have made. What had started as one woman's claim during a live stream had now evolved into a full-blown digital storm, dragging the past into the present and leaving millions wondering if the ghosts of old relationships were finally coming back to haunt everyone involved. As Jasmine's name dominated timelines and Tasha K's words continued to echo across the internet, the emotional fallout behind the scenes grew impossible to hide. For Yandy, what had once been quiet disbelief was now raw, visible pain. Friends close to her described her as heartbroken but composed, trying to protect her family's image while privately unraveling. She reportedly spent days avoiding cameras and calls from Love and Hip Hop producers, refusing to turn her personal crisis into a storyline. Still, paparazzi photos began circulating Yandy leaving her office in oversized sunglasses, no ring in sight, her face distant and tired. Social media amplified every detail, treating her silence like an open confession. Meanwhile, Mendeecees found himself cornered by public judgment. Once admired for his redemption story and family-first image, he was now facing an avalanche of skepticism. Every interview he'd ever done about loyalty and forgiveness was being reposted with mocking captions. Fans who once celebrated his transformation now questioned whether it was all a facade. In private, insiders claimed Mendeecees was frustrated, telling people close to him that he was being crucified for something that didn't even happen. But his frustration only fueled more speculation online, with users claiming that if he were truly innocent, he'd say more zero or show more empathy for his wife's pain. Amid the noise, Yandy's old clips resurfaced her standing by Mendeecees through his incarceration, her defending him against critics, her tearful reunion when he was released. Those moments now felt heavy, even tragic, as fans reflected on how far she had gone for him. Hashtags like #MyProtectYandy and the Stay Strong Yandy trended for days, while motivational pages began posting her photos with quotes about resilience and self-worth. The entire narrative had shifted. Yandy was no longer just a reality star. She'd become a symbol of quiet endurance in the face of public betrayal. Yet behind closed doors, the couple's tension reportedly deepened. Conversations turned cold, and even their usual joint appearances were canceled. People close to them hinted that they were trying to save face for the kids, while privately deciding whether there was anything left to salvage. And as fans kept arguing over who was right or wrong, one truth became undeniable. The story had evolved from a rumor into an emotional storm, one that left both Yandy and Mendeecees questioning not just their marriage, but the very image of love they had spent years defending. Just when people thought the storm might calm down, Tasha K poured gasoline right back onto the flames. Days after her explosive claims, she returned online with that same confident grin, teasing her followers with cryptic posts that sent everyone spiraling again. "Y'all thought that was it. Baby, I ain't even halfway done," she wrote, followed by a string of winking emojis and the hashtag #MoreReceipts. Instantly, the internet reignited. Gossip blogs refreshed their headlines. Fan pages exploded with new theories, and YouTubers who covered celebrity drama began uploading reaction videos within minutes. Every corner of social media buzzed with speculation. What more could she possibly have? Some fans begged her to drop the proof immediately, while others accused her of dragging things out for clout. But Tasha knew exactly what she was doing. She understood the rhythm of chaos, the art of suspense. On her next live stream, she hinted that the story was deeper than people think, claiming that certain folks in the love and hip-hop world had been hiding things for years. Her cryptic tone and slow, deliberate pauses made every viewer hang on to each word. And as she spoke, producers from the show reportedly started taking notes, realizing that this real-life scandal could become their next big storyline. Meanwhile, fans dissected everything: screenshots of Tasha's background, reflections in her glasses, even the timestamps of her posts, searching for hidden clues about who else might be involved. Mendeecees, clearly fed up, posted a brief message on Instagram. "Y'all believe anything online," but instead of calming things down, it only made things worse. Comment sections filled with accusations, memes, and armchair detectives convinced they knew the truth. Yandy stayed silent, her absence speaking louder than any statement could. And through it all, Tasha just kept smirking in her videos, sipping from her wine glass and repeating one chilling line: "Receipts speak louder than words." With each post, she tightened her grip on the public's attention, transforming what started as a rumor into a cultural spectacle. Love and hip-hop fans, bloggers, and casual observers were all locked in because everyone knew Tasha wasn't bluffing. She was building towards something, and no one had any idea just how explosive the next reveal might be. After weeks of silence and speculation, Jasmine finally broke her silence and the internet held its breath. Late one night, she went live on Instagram, her voice calm but heavy, her expression a mix of exhaustion and defiance. There was no dramatic intro, no music, no theatrics, just Jasmine sitting in dim lighting, speaking directly to her followers. "I've seen what's being said, and I just want to clear a few things up," she began, her tone measured, careful. She didn't mention Yandy, Mendeecees, or Tasha by name, but her words were laced with meaning. People love to twist stories to fit their version of the truth. "I've made mistakes, but I've also grown. What happened years ago is in the past, and I'm not here to relive it for views." Instantly, the comment section exploded. Fans begged her to be direct. "Just say if it's true," while others praised her for staying graceful amid chaos. But Jasmine didn't take the bait. She maintained composure, even when thousands of viewers demanded answers. Her silence on certain questions only fueled more curiosity. Then came the moment that made headlines. "Some people," she said, pausing slightly, "need to stop acting like their image is built on honesty. Not everyone's as innocent as they pretend." That one line was all it took. Viewers clipped it, reposted it, and within an hour, Jasmine Live was trending. Blogs called it a soft confirmation, while Tasha K herself reposted a snippet with the caption, "Told y'all I wasn't lying." Fans went wild. Some accused Jasmine of stirring the pot without taking accountability. Others felt she was trying to reclaim her voice after being dragged into a narrative she never asked for. Meanwhile, Yandy's silence remained deafening. Sources close to her claimed she had seen the live but refused to respond publicly, saying she was done feeding the drama. Mendeecees, on the other hand, reportedly grew frustrated behind the scenes, calling the situation messy and embarrassing. But for the internet, this was primetime entertainment. Memes, reaction videos, and Twitter threads dissecting Jasmine's every word flooded timelines for days. Whether people believed her or not, one thing became clear. Jasmine had changed the tone of the entire scandal. Her calm, cryptic delivery made the story feel less like gossip and more like a confession wrapped in mystery. And as her live ended with the words, "The truth always finds its way out," Tasha K reposted that exact quote, smiling, satisfied, and ready to take credit for lighting the match that set everything ablaze. Just when the conversation seemed to be dying down, Tasha K came back with another twist this time, shifting the focus from physical betrayal to something more subtle, more painful, emotional infidelity. In her next live stream, she claimed that Mendeecees and Jasmine had maintained emotional closeness long after their supposed chapter ended, describing it as a bond that never really broke, even when the cameras stopped rolling. She insisted she wasn't talking about a full-blown affair, but something just as damaging, suggesting late-night texts, hidden phone calls, and quiet check-ins that Yandy allegedly knew nothing about. The internet erupted again. Debates exploded across every platform. Was emotional cheating just as bad as physical cheating? Could a married man still be loyal if his heart was divided? Podcasts, gossip panels, and even relationship experts joined in, dissecting the idea that love can be betrayed without touch. For Yandy's supporters, it was the final blow. They pointed out how often she had defended Mendeecees publicly, calling this the ultimate form of disrespect. For others, it was murkier. Some believed the rumors had been twisted, that Tasha was feeding speculation with half-truths. Mendeecees himself appeared in a short, tense Instagram live, denying any wrongdoing. "Y'all need to stop believing lies. I got love for everybody, but I'm not entertaining nobody outside my home," he said, his tone defensive but visibly worn. Yet his denial did little to calm the storm. Viewers zoomed in on his expressions, body language, even his pauses, claiming he looked guilty or nervous. Meanwhile, Yandy posted a cryptic quote about feeling alone in a room full of people, which immediately reignited the emotional narrative surrounding her. Jasmine, for her part, stayed quiet this time. No posts, no lives, just silence, which fans took as confirmation that there was more truth than she wanted to admit. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about the three of them. It was about love, loyalty, and what really counts as betrayal in the digital age. Tasha K, ever the provocateur, ended her live by saying, "Sometimes it's not the body that cheats, it's the soul." And just like that, she reframed the entire scandal from gossip to a moral debate, leaving millions arguing not about what happened, but about what it meant. By now, the tension between Yandy and Mendeecees had reached its breaking point. The couple who once symbolized resilience and devotion was now drifting in silence, communicating only when necessary and avoiding public appearances altogether. Insiders claimed Yandy had grown distant, emotionally drained from trying to hold everything together, while the world dissected her pain in real time. One close friend revealed that she'd confided, "I don't even know who I'm defending anymore." That statement hit fans hard when it leaked, fueling the belief that their marriage might truly be on the verge of collapse. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was said to be frustrated and angry at Tasha for spreading what he called nonsense, angry at Jasmine for speaking vaguely, and angry at himself for not controlling the narrative sooner. Still, he refused to make any explosive statement, preferring to let time expose who's lying. But silence had already become its own kind of confession. Then, in typical Tasha K fashion, she dropped another cryptic teaser during a podcast appearance. "I've got one last piece, and when I drop it, it's over for good." That single sentence sent the internet spiraling again. Bloggers speculated that she had messages, audio, maybe even photos. Fans began setting countdowns. Influencers made reaction videos predicting the final bomb, and the hashtag #SalRTasha final receipts started trending overnight. Meanwhile, Jasmine's name popped up again when rumors spread that she'd been contacted for an exclusive interview with a major YouTube network. Screenshots of alleged DMs circulated online, hinting that she might be ready to set the record straight once and for all. The tension was unbearable, each side waiting for the other to move first, the audience hanging on every cryptic emoji or caption. Yandy's Instagram remained quiet, save for a single story showing her holding her kids, captioned, "Peace over everything." That moment touched fans deeply, reigniting sympathy and admiration for her grace under fire. But everyone knew peace was temporary, because with Tasha's promise of a final reveal and Jasmine's rumored interview on the horizon, one thing was clear. This story wasn't ending. It was about to hit its most explosive chapter yet. The world was on edge, waiting for what Tasha K called the final piece. But as days passed with no drop, anticipation turned into obsession. Every post, every story, every cryptic emoji from anyone involved was dissected like evidence in a courtroom. Jasmine's rumored interview was postponed twice, sparking theories that legal teams had stepped in or that she'd been offered something bigger, perhaps a deal with love and hip-hop producers to tell her side on camera. Meanwhile, Yandy maintained a calm, poised silence that only deepened the mystery. Some fans hailed her restraint as strength. Others saw it as quiet devastation. Mendeecees, too, went silent online, breaking his pattern of defensive posts, which only made people speculate that something major was happening behind the scenes. Tasha K, true to form, kept the suspense alive with small hints photos of blurred screenshots, snippets of audio playing faintly in the background of her live streams, and captions like, "Timing is everything." The internet stayed glued to her every move, convinced she was about to drop the digital equivalent of a bomb. But then nothing. No receipts, no files, no confirmation, just silence. Slowly the chaos began to settle, replaced by questions that no one seemed able to answer. Had Tasha exaggerated for attention? Was Jasmine silenced? Were Yandy and Mendeecees quietly rebuilding behind the scenes? Or was there still one last truth waiting to surface? In the absence of clarity, fans built their own narratives, some painting Yandy as the resilient queen who chose peace over pettiness, others convinced she was hiding deeper hurt than she'd ever admit. YouTubers, bloggers, and podcast hosts filled the gap with theories, each claiming they had inside info, but the truth remained elusive. The scandal that had consumed social media for weeks ended not with a bang, but with a haunting pause, a digital cliffhanger that left millions wondering what really happened. Because in a world built on receipts, likes, and lives, the absence of proof sometimes speaks louder than any revelation. And as the noise faded, one question lingered across every comment section and group chat. Was this the calm after the storm, or just the silence before the next one? Silence before the next one.